Hi there, my name is Rebecca Merola and I'm one of the co-owners of Junction. When things start to cool off, I start to think, how am I going to spend my time inside as opposed to being outside? And one of the favorite things I like to do is bake. It's something that my mother taught me how to do when I was little, and it's something that we enjoyed doing together. Not only did my mother share her love of baking with me, but I was on Facebook the other day and I saw my little brother who has a toddler of his own, and by the cookie sheets and the little pinch bowls of water and sugar laid out, I knew that they were making my mom's molasses cookies. So that makes me feel really good that that tradition is going to be passed down to another generation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sugars, shortening, and an egg. Another trick, this is why I love baking with my mother. If you spray the inside of the measuring cup that I'm going to use for molasses with a little bit of cooking spray, when I pour the molasses in, it will release from the cup and I won't leave most of my molasses stuck in the measuring cup. And I'm going to pour that in. So we're going to stir this up with a mixer and we're going to beat it until it's creamy. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for now. And I'm going to switch to my dry ingredients. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our flour. These are the measuring cups. They're biodegradable. Then they will break down into the environment and I won't have to worry about plastic or metal or anything unnecessarily taking up space. Yay, healthy environment. The other thing I really like, this is a progressive flour keeper, and it's got this handy little bar so I can just dip in and then drag it across the bar. Okay, so I've got my flour, and now I'm going to add baking soda and salt and my spices. Now, one of the things that I like to do differently from the traditional recipe is I like to up my spices. And one of the ways I do that is I use Saigon cinnamon. Now, we do carry this at Junction. Saigon cinnamon has so much more flavor than a regular cinnamon. So I've got my dry ingredients in the crock. I'm gonna mix them up with this dough whisk. I'm so excited about this. Also, it's new from OXO. You know from OXO that they have the soft grip handles that are ergonomic. They make holding onto handles really easy because it feels good in your hand. And now I'm gonna take my wet ingredients and I'm gonna add those in. And I'll do a little at a time. And you can see how that dough whisk just really gets in there and integrates those ingredients. Okay, so I'm gonna work around. You can see that my dough is starting to come together. If I'm gonna bake, I'm gonna have to eat the cookies or the goods that I bake. And if I'm gonna eat the things that I bake, then I feel like it's best for me to use hand tools as opposed to power tools, therefore working off some of the calories that I'm going to ingest by eating the baked goods. That's my rationale. So our cookie dough has been chilling for about 2 hours. You'll see that I've got it kind of all collected up onto one side. I did that on purpose before I put it in the fridge so that when I use my cookie scoop, I can press against the side of the bowl and it just makes it a lot easier. So I'm using a number 60 and this, which is a pretty standard cookie scoop size. This recipe makes exactly 2 dozen cookies using a number 60 scoop. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoop the cookie dough against the side like so, and then I'm gonna place it on the sheet. And I'm not gonna really mess with it much, okay? I like the little texture that kind of shows, but we're gonna do something with these once I get them scooped out. Now I'm gonna place them about 3 inches apart on my cookie sheet. The cookie sheet I'm using today is an insulated cookie sheet by Nordic Ware. I absolutely refuse to bake cookies on anything but an insulated baking sheet. Okay, and this is my favorite part. And this is why I knew that my brother, David, was showing his son how to make my mom's molasses cookies, because he had a little dipping bowl of sugar and a little dipping bowl of water. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up each one of our little balls and we're gonna dip the top in sugar and we're gonna place it back on the cookie sheet. I'm gonna take 2 or 3 fingers, I'm gonna dip them in the water, and I'm gonna touch the tops of the cookies. So what that does is help promote that crinkle top in your finished product. And you'll get a little bit of water on your cookie sheet. Don't worry about that. It will bake off, evaporate in the oven. There you go. We're gonna bake these at about 375 for around 10 minutes. Don't like to over bake them because I like them to be a little bit chewy. And there's the buzzer. So here we have our beautiful molasses cookies. Now I'm gonna let them sit on the cookie sheet for about 2 minutes. If you try to transfer them to a cooling rack before that, a lot of times the bottoms will be damaged. You'll notice that the tops have a nice crinkly crust that will drop slightly as they cool. I have really enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. I hope you have too. The cookbook that my mother used when I was growing up was this Betty Crocker cookbook, and it is the basis for the recipe that I shared with you today. It is something that I will treasure forever because it was something that I did with my mother, and it was really something that brought us a lot of joy. So I hope that the baking experiences that you have also bring you joy. You should check us out at functionjunction.com. You can stop in the store and say hi, or check out our Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube channels. Thanks.